Hi everyone again, and good morning to everyone if you've just come on to 1 Million Meditators it's like a little chat that I have after I do meditation, and I talk about spirituality, consciousness, our ascension, what's going on in the world. And it's driven by your questions or people that I've met along the way here in Bali or around the world. When I do one-on-one sessions, there's many questions that come up for people. So hopefully, sorry, this camera's just gone off. Excuse me, just for 1 second. Hi, there we go. We're live again on the 2 cameras. The reason why I do this is because on Instagram, I have quite a few followers and quite a few people reach out to me and send me private messages. And I think that what I put out there may answer a lot of questions and save people time. I apologise, the camera's on a bit of an angle, but it's my tripod. It's sort of leaning to one side. And, you know, I just say it is what it is. It doesn't really matter. So if I could get it perfect, I would, but nothing's perfect in this world and no one is perfect. We are all learning and learning from each other. So today I'd like to talk about, because I've had so many people are intrigued or asking questions about this December, there being the month to remember, because it's so powerful. And it's so powerful that even when we feel good and then we feel not so good, well, you say, what's happening? I'm supposed to feel good all the time. But that's not exactly true. The reason why we don't feel so good sometimes is there's something we need to shift. And what that means is there's some old emotional attachment from the past, whether it is ancestral or coming from parents perhaps, or whoever was influences on our life as children. It's an old pattern. You don't need to go back and relive that. You only need to be aware in that moment it is coming from somewhere that is in your subconscious, an old patterning or paradigm. And in that moment, that is your trigger, I guess, to stay contained in your, I call it my little bubble or cocoon, or in solace in that moment, and find how a way to transmute that energy from your body. And sometimes we might need to talk to others, sometimes not, because they're going through their stuff, so we might trigger what's going on for them as well. Sometimes we just know there's so much like energy being put out there at the moment, like on YouTube something, and beautiful meditation, or listen to someone that you feel is inspiration, because this inspirational to you, because this is your experience of leading you back into yourself, your true self, your true way of being. And what happens is the mind, so it's not about you going into your mind and having a thought, it's about you going into your heart and having a feeling. That's the experience. And if you listen to any of my podcasts that I've got up, I talk about this a lot. And I talk about the age of Aquarius earlier this year and what was going to happen, and we're in it. We're leading into it. And you might say the energy is already here. It's just now needing to align. So you're not going to, for some of us, we're not going to feel good. We might experience some body pain. We might experience some nauseous. I read the other day that vertigo is a thing, and I've had a friend that's been experiencing a lot of vertigo. And when I read that, I reached out to him and said to him, hey, it's part of it. The key is to keep going back to your heart when that comes in, or when you're having those experiences. If you have people around you that are supportive, and they can be family, they may not be, because we're all going through something, including our family. They might be good friends, or they might just be like, my mentors are not physically with me, or very few are. I find them on social media sites or on YouTubes and things like that. They're people that inspire me and that I aspire to be. So your question that you would be asking yourself Does that inspire me when I hear that or talk to that person? Because if you wrote the word inspiration down, it's in spirit. And in spirit means when you're in spirit, you are aligned with your true way. It's a feeling of inspiration that comes into the heart that excites you with joy and with motivation to, I want to do that. That is the feeling and experience of the feeling. So when we do that, we're asking, is this feeling a good for me? Is it inspirational? Do I feel inspired when I have this feeling? If not, it's a no. And that's how I work with your intuition, your inner guidance system, your IGS, I call it. It's your guidance that tells you, your intuition. It comes through the heart. And the gut feelings are just like a little trigger to say, hey, something's not feeling right. Let's take that somewhere, sit quietly and tune into your intuition. So if you wrote the words intuition, it means into you. Go in and find the answers, and you will, once you are aware of how this actually works. These little things that I'm sharing are based on my own experience, and a lot of it has come out of my near-death experience and learning how to work with the energy of spirit, the energy of love and kindness and compassion, giving gratitude. When I'm in my stuff, how to move that through my body very quickly and come back to the self, to the beautiful heart. Each and every one of us has a beautiful, beautiful heart. So my questions through the week have come in many ways with my one-on-one sessions also, and I have another one straight after this, so I do have to finish on time, so I'm sorry about that. But if you want to reach out to me by private messaging me or email, all the information is there on 1 Million Meditators. So the questions that are coming through are actually motivating me to do more of this, because obviously there's I think a misunderstanding and a bit of confusion that I'm hoping to shift in the next couple of weeks before we do. It's actually started, but there's going to be a huge ascension. It's so big. And you really, if you're listening to this, you really want to tune into that, and you really want to know how to do that. So you can be part of this ascension or the rise into consciousness, or part of the age of Aquarius. So it's the planets aligning and transmitting more energy, and the sun receiving from that and then transmitting that down to planet Earth, as well as it's a galactic family of energy will be transmitting love and light down to Earth. And for those who are open to receive with an open heart, maybe in meditation, they will receive that. Now, here's a couple of things that I do if I want to. I remember someone in early March, they put out a meditation, and it was to close your eyes at 11:11, wherever you are in the world, so 11 minutes past 11, and just sit and send out love and light throughout the planet and the population. So I set an alarm on my phone, and I did that. No matter where I was, I would just excuse myself if I was in company and say, or ask them to join and say, let's just sit for 5 minutes, no speaking, and send out love and light to the planet. And that's all you really need to do. Allow 10 to 15 minutes, because you really want to tune into that energy, and you'll feel it, because I'm a distant healer as well. So I not only see one-on-one clients, I can do this by distant healing, transferring that energy for that person to heal from a conscious level. So you can do this. We all are healers. We all have the power to do this, but doing little practices before the 20th, the 21st and the 22nd, and just trialing this. You can always trial it with, someone close to you. Sit in front of them, put some nice music on, and just do the eye gazing. Don't speak. You can blink, but just look into each other's eyes. And if your eyes start to wander off, bring them back to the eyeballs of the person, and you will feel an energy coming through. And that's sort of like a feeling, an experience with someone. If you can, try and do it with someone you don't know really well, because there's discomfort that comes up, and that's your shadow that you want to shift till you're comfortable. I remember the first time I did it many years ago. It was like, wow, eye gazing. You don't directly look at someone. And I realized that where that fear was coming from and this discomfort was when I was chastised as a child. Look at me like this. Look at me and look into my eyes. Don't look over there. Look here. You know, if that's familiar to you, that's where it's coming from. So you want to move through that and allow that emotion of the fear to move through so you can allow the light. And you will feel the magic when that happens. Something magical happens when you connect. A little bit like, you know, when we're doing a meditation, we might see unicorns or fairies. And, yeah, that's amazing too. But so I'm sharing this with you. So hopefully to give you more of an understanding what's happening. When I had my near-death experience in 2011, my vital organs shut down. So I actually died, and I went to different dimensions. And I remember the last dimension, and this is so powerful what I'm about to say, because it's only come in the last week, which means when I say that, what I'm meaning is I've only just received the insight from within of why I had that experience. So what happened was as I went into the different dimensions, the last one was this beautiful ball of light coming towards me. And I felt so much love in my heart, so much joy and excitement that I was connected. I felt the deep connection to this huge light. And what happened was I looked at myself, and I was the light. I was no longer a body, and I knew that because my body was on the bed with the doctors and nurses far, far away, far away. If you know the movie Shrek, yeah, the land of far, far away. So when the huge light, and I was smiling and so happy and so joyous, so much gratitude in my heart that I was having this experience. And the light came towards me and consumed me, and I became, one with the light. So we are all one with the light. Not long after that, I had an experience here in Bali. My death experience happened in Australia with doctors and nurses around me. But when I came to Bali, I was guided, like intuitively. Someone was channeling me, and I was listening, and I would just go with the feeling because I felt lost. And I came to Bali. Even when I came to Bali, there was confusion there about why am I here? And I kept asking, and I did receive guidance from a higher dimension. And my first day here, I did a meditation at the yoga barn. Hence, I work there now, but I did a meditation. And what happened was so profound. I relived my near-death experience, and all the pain of that death came back, the physical pain before I left my body. I was resisting. My mind was resisting, and then I felt myself letting go, going, I surrender to this pain. This physical pain and emotional pain, I give up. I said, I surrender it to you. Whoever you are, you've got me. You can have me. And that's when I went to the beautiful light. Now, my interpretation of that is that light within us. And since then, I've found out when there's a spark of light, at the moment of conception, when the sperm and the egg meet, there is a spark of light. And then the cells go, and the heart starts to form, and the heart tells the cells where to go and what to grow, and then the mind is formed much after the heart. So our consciousness, I believe, comes from the heart. We must be in the heart first. And when the heart opens up, it opens up the doorway, the gateway to the soul, and the spirit can step in, which is consciousness. Knowing that we are connected to everyone and everything, that we are connected to the 5 elements, the 5 elements of Mother Earth, of air, water, and the water being what we drink. Our cells are water, 95% water. Water has consciousness. That was proven by Dr. Emoto. Michiko, if you're watching this, Michiko was Dr. Emoto's research assistant in Japan. She's also the director of the Emoto Peace Project in Tokyo, Japan. Dr. Emoto was a researcher who discovered that water has consciousness. And there's many, many people that have had that experience, including myself. And you'll learn more about that later, because when I was walking along the ocean a few months ago, I started singing a song and I didn't know where it come from. And I was so happy that I had my phone, I recorded it, and now the words are down on paper and I'm just waiting to take it one step further. So hopefully that will happen in 2021, because there's so many other things that I'm being called to do at the moment. So with what happened in the meditation at Yoga Barn was, after I relived my near-death experience and the pain, physical pain of that, and the letting go of resistance with the mind, something, whether I want to call it my higher self, said, just sit up straight, which I did, because I was sort of over on an angle because I thought I was going to faint because of the pain going through my body. And I sat up straight and they said, take a deep breath. And the moment I did that, I let go and surrendered. Once I surrendered, it was so profound. What happened was Buddha was full life form across the other side of the room. Buddha came over to me and put his hands on my head. He was transmitting so much love to me as he's walking towards me. And once he put his hands on my head, I felt the euphoria, the bliss, the ecstasy coming from my heart. It was so powerful. The tears were just floating down my face and I didn't want to leave. And the interesting thing was, I was dressed in a sari like in India, and at that time I'd never been to India and I never had a desire to go to India. And then I put my hands in prayer pose and put my head down, and as he put his hands on Buddha put his hands on my head, he said, you have a beautiful, beautiful heart, and you need to use your heart to heal and then heal others and to teach others about their beautiful heart. Hence, Sacred Heart Meditation was birthed. So that's my signature meditation, but meditations that come through that are many, depending on what's happening at the day and what I'm channeling, which is what I'm feeling to put out there to give to others. It's very, very powerful at the moment. People are having some extraordinary experiences, including feeling hands being placed on their bodies being moved around. It's very, very interesting. If you want to know more about that, look on my Instagram. You will see a testimonial and you'll see the body of someone moving around, and she wasn't doing that, someone else was in the room, and I felt that, so I videoed it. So so many things can happen. But getting back to the meditation, so the reason why I'm sharing all this with you, and I don't share a lot of this live, it's usually in my workshops or retreats, I share this and I teach people how to do that, how to step into their consciousness through their heart and open up that gateway and come into spirit and step into their power. We are all powerful. We're just not taught this. So once we have that experience, that feeling, we know what it is, and then we can bring it in at any time, because it's a bit hard to do something if you don't know. So you don't know what you don't know. So if you haven't had this experience or felt it or had someone around you guiding you into the experience, you're not going to know what you're looking for. A lot of people are in their analytical mind. And I only had someone yesterday, and it was a bit harder for me to push through to get them to step out of the subconscious so we could open it up and let consciousness step through. But we did it. And it's a very, very simple process, and it is easy. And I just say, keep going, keep going, keep going. The more you do this, the stronger you will become, the more consciously, spiritually, and you will awaken to, I am so powerful. When I close my eyes and breathe into my heart and my meditation, I have the power to heal not only those around me, my loved ones, but the planet. So simple. It's just life gets in the way and makes it hard because we think we have to do many, many other things. How could it be that simple? And that's your mind, your subconscious telling you that it is simple. I mentioned before on my meditation, I love Einstein's quote, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it. And he was one of the most intelligent scientists that ever lived. And he was right. He's right. And if you've had that experience where you've gone to your teachers or peers and said, I don't get it, I don't understand it, can you explain it in another way? And they're going round and round in circles. It's like a riddle that you've got to crack. They don't really understand it, otherwise they would. And that's no disrespect. This is an understanding of what we've been brought up in. It has to be simple, because consciousness is simple. I am the light. I am the love. It's a language that we speak with love and compassion. So if you're wanting more, please go on to my podcast where I share a lot about this. I'd also like to mention before I finish up that 1 Million Meditators, which are a very powerful movement, lifting the planet into consciousness and rising, eliminating any darkness or any discomfort or disharmony on the planet. They are collectively, and Nita Mara, I'd like to say a thank you to her. She's a lovely human being who started up this movement, which is becoming very, very powerful, because as a collective, more and more people are jumping on board. So we are collectively and consciously help create a new world. So they'll be doing their global meditation on the 26th and 27th. It'll go for 24 hours. And every 15 minutes, there'll be someone, a teacher, an ambassador, teaching meditation around the world. And it's like a ripple effect. So it starts on one side of the world and keeps going for 24 hours. So I'll be doing one here from Bali on the 27th. And also on the 20th, 21st and 22nd, put that in your calendar. Make sure you do your meditation. Set an alarm on your phone perhaps. Write it on a Post-it note. Keep meditating into the heart. The age of Aquarius, the planets will be aligning, and also the sun will be sending down beautiful light energy to all of us. And Uluru will be activating and bringing crystals from the centre of, and Uluru in Australia is the solar plexus of the planet, of Mother Earth, and the tribal people, the Indigenous people of Australia, will be doing another ceremony. They did one in January this year, and they'll also be doing another one to tune in with that energy and help the planet rise. There will also be many, many groups on Facebook, on Instagram. Maybe your local community are doing a meditation that weekend. If not, try and organise one, either on Facebook, on Zoom. Get your community together, maybe get your schools together, get them to the teachers on board as well to tune into this energy. It's all about love and peace. I often say to teachers that I have as my clients, where I'm from in Australia, they have an anti-bullying policy. That's very negative. It's low vibration. We need to have a peace and harmony policy, not only in Australia, but across the planet in our education system, because that changes it from unconscious to consciousness. Words are so important. They hold a vibration. So we don't want anti-bullying. That's out. That's old paradigm. We want peace and harmony policies. Government should have peace and harmony policies implemented, not just throughout our education system, but through every workplace on the planet should have a peace and harmony policy. And that should be defined as loving, kind, gratitude, understanding, forgiveness, and that should be put in place. That's what I believe. And that will raise consciousness. This is how we do it. So if anybody out there, and I have had policy writers for me that have come to me doing one-on-ones. If you're a policy writer, take that on board if you can and write a peace and harmony policy for the world. That's enough for me today. As I said, I do have another client straight after this. I'd like you all to have a beautiful, beautiful day. Keep practicing. Come into your love and light. Open up your beautiful heart. Each and every one of us, no exceptions, has a beautiful, beautiful heart. And once we open up that gateway, we step into our spirit, our soul, and we become consciousness. Have a beautiful, beautiful day and see you next week. Namaste.